Welcome, reading one. You chose the Everyday Witch Tarot deck. You know, when I was setting this up, a lot was coming through, even to the point where I went to put lotion on my hand and didn't realize it until I went to smush my hands together to, put the lotion on my hands. I was like, oh my, it was like a perfect J. So this is either you have a J in your initial, or maybe there's someone that's going to show up in the reading that's a J. So these are channeled messages from Spirit. A lot of you know I love tarot, but I'm just going to put it out there. I'm just going to say it. I can be intimidated sometimes by tarot. And the only reason why is because when I was coming into my gifts and my learning and my teachings, I had a lot of tarot people come down hard on me about the way that I interpreted the cards. And I said, I'm a medium. I use them as visuals. They're like, yeah, but for people who really are into tarot, it can be confusing. And I was like, well, if they're really into tarot, then they should know that, everything that's in front of us every single day is a message, is a story, is a gift. But I also show mad respect to the tarot deck because of its teachings, and I honor it as sacred because of my everyday witch, right? And blessed that it was created, as far as they say, by a witch. But when I was getting this together is basically what I was trying to say. When I was getting this together, there were many books, notes, things that I could bring into this, and they were like, no. So maybe you are a reader, or maybe it's just that we're just gonna wing it and go with my soul knowledge and just channel whatever messages are meant to come through. Okay. And I feel like they had me preface that because maybe, and welcome, thank you all for being here, and welcome back for those of you who keep coming back. If you're new here, I spout off angel numbers. I spout off, like, I'm a medium, but I'm also many things. And basically what I wanted to say is I'm a powerful empath. And when I started this, like, even now I'm like, oh, I just want to like scratch my head. I feel like for some of you, you need to like scratch your head or like scratch it out. Do you know what I'm saying? Are you feeling super sensitive? Because I've been feeling super, super sensitive where like, I'm like, are there bugs crawling on me? Like, what is going on? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And some of us empaths, especially, not all witches are empaths, but or is it not all empaths are witches, but all witches are empaths, kind of thing, right? So if you're a witch, a natural witch, that means that you're a healer, and healers have to be able to hold a magnificent amount of empathy in order to actually facilitate the healing energy of pure love, because that's basically what it all boils down to. But when I was getting this started, your reading, oh my gosh, there was so much anger, there was so much aggression. I feel like I couldn't get this, your altar, like I feel like I couldn't get it right. You know what I mean? Like I felt very judged, and I don't know if this is how you feel and how people are making you feel, or if you make others feel this way. I'm not really sure. By the way, you'll hear me moving my heater around. I live in a tiny home, so it's really chilly this morning. Actually, happy Earth Day in real time is April 22nd, which is really cool. Get it? Ha 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 ha. Which is really cool because 2 and 2 is 4, and April is 4. And if you add it together with 9, it still comes down to the number 8, no matter how many times so I feel like there's some really heavy stuff coming through for you guys. Also, I'm just feeling this heavy, 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 heavy energy. I am very particular about setting up these readings because especially when I saw I was doing 4 readings, it's early in the morning. Like I just slept. You'd think I'd have a shitload of energy, but I just don't. I feel heavy. I feel weighted to the ground. I love, partaking in cannabis because it can take you to all different levels. But I feel like when I was getting ready for your reading, it's like this is where spirit wanted me to be. Also, I have a super awesome friend that's a spider, this black spider. So I want you to work with the spider spirit animal and the spider spirit energy. And they're the magical web weavers. Spiders aren't even from this is what they say from scientists who've studied different species all over the planet. Spiders don't naturally come from here. They don't know really where they come from, but they're not indigenous to Earth. So, very interesting. Now, some will fight that and say that's bullshit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. And they have 8 legs. So the number 8 is either life path number for you or it's a number they want you to work with. But I asked when I started this, I was excited. I thought I was going to do like some Earth Day thing for the tribe or whatever, but they were like, no, pick a reading. And I was like, and then when I saw the decks, I was like, oh shit, like what the fuck? Like, where are we going today? I was like, Everyday Witch Tarot. I'm like, Joie de Vivre Tarot. I'm like, Past Life and Energy. Wow, I'm like, that is like no joke. So if you're drawn to any other readings, always feel free to watch them, but also don't pressure yourself to do so. I don't know if you can see it there in the video, but a robin bird just flew. Oh, there it goes. I was gonna say flew into the tree. So also worked with Jesus and Christ consciousness energy. I feel like some of you, I'm hearing from spirit, losing your way. That is what I'm hearing. Maybe that's why it's on Earth Day today. We're a poet and we don't know it. Also I had this set up differently and my phone just kept doing all these weird things or like falling. And I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? I felt this, like you didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to, I'm with you. I am going through the same thing. The changes that are happening everywhere are so intense that if you look at anything long enough, it can make you feel really off balance. And it's interesting because today's April 4th and it's the 22nd, which is another 4. So, I feel like they're trying to really get you to focus on your balance. And I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that my eyes keep being drawn to, I'm going to zoom in. Oops. Look at that, spirit. You're so awesome. Do you see how the Everyday Witch music is coming out? There's something with music. So it's either it's time for you to create music, and that could be anything. Maybe you're a writer, maybe you're a singer, maybe you're a composer, maybe you play 100 instruments, whatever it is. But I'm feeling that, like my eyes kept going to that. Or it could be also maybe that you love music and music is like your jam and they're like, well, then listen to music more. I used to wake up every single day and I would just put my phone on shuffle. I had saved so many songs on my phone, that I could just put it on shuffle and it would play everything from Lady Gaga to, I almost said Leonardo da Vinci, but I feel like that's for somebody well, art, right? Artists, you're artists. But like right before this, Ness and Norma came on. So that's from Luciano Pavarotti. I'm probably not saying that in the most perfect Italian accent, but I'm hearing that you need to spice it up, juice it up, get it going, do what you love. Also, my eyes keep going down to the black cat too. I feel like for some of you, it's time for an animal. It's time to have an animal in your life because I feel like it's really good for you. But I'm also hearing don't force it. Let them come to you. And most of you know my familiar passed 11 and a half weeks ago, and she was quite magnificent. She came to me this morning and I was just bawling my eyes out. It could even be for some of you, maybe it's time to like have a good cry. Because today I said to her, I go, I just can't think about you every day. It's just too much. And the last few days, I haven't been thinking about her. Ooh, 10/17. I also feel like that could be someone's birthday, October 17th. But I'm also getting a wink wink for that too, which if you think about it, October 17th, 10 is 1, because 1 plus 0 is 1, and then semicolon 17 is an 8. So it could be for some of you, it's time for a new beginning. It's time for a new beginning, a new chapter. Maybe it's time to release and let some stuff go. Because every time I do these, of course, I feel things too. I'm part of the tribe. So, it's not an accident that I had that breakdown, and then that the black spider is looking at me right now, and I feel like it's Baba. I swear, this spider, I swear. We've been interacting, like the other day, it was yesterday, the spider like comes out and like they just like, they like come up really close to me and they lift up their hand like, hey, what's up? And I know that's what they're doing. And I was like, they're so smart and they're so awesome. And I used to be terrified of spiders. I couldn't have cats because my mom was allergic. And then these cats just kept coming into my life when I was in my 20s and on my own. So it could be to work with cat spirit medicine as well. Or it could be it's time to connect with your cat that's crossed over. You can always call your old familiars back in, If they're meant to come back to you in this life, they will. If not, they're with you all the time. That's what Bubba was saying today. But at the same time, I feel like for some of you, you're not moving forward because of her. And I feel like it's a her. And it's interesting because I was drawn to watch this movie, The Monster Squad, from my childhood. And so many things came together. It was freaky. You know how I'm always joking, because it's true, that you're the star of your movie, I'm the star of my movie, right? We're all just, and then like the rest of us are like, we're just supporting characters for each other. But this was really bizarre because I hadn't seen this movie in forever. I kept trying to find it. I haven't seen it in at least 20 plus years, at least. And I watched it on 420, which, my cannabis, 1249, that's your angel number to work with. Oh, which is also 1213. I feel like somebody on here also has my birthday. But look at the synchronicities. There's so much of this is my reading as well. But basically, long story short, it's 420. I did all this spirit work. I did all these readings and stuff, and got them edited and posted and everything. And once everything was good, I just smoked a lot of weed and started watching this movie. And I was like, wow, Spirit, this is so good. I was going down memory lane. I was like, I forgot how good this movie really is, And within a few minutes, like literally within a few minutes, one of them said these kids were in trouble with the teacher. And I'd remembered the scene and I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, oh my God, I fucking totally remember this movie because it's from like 87, I think. So I was in high school, but I was probably like a freshman or something. It was just such a cute movie. I just remember loving it. And the kid goes, or the teacher goes, all right, I don't want to see you guys in here again, causing trouble, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay. They're like, thank you, Mr. Metzger. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, come on. I'm like, come on. So that is my mom's maiden name. My witchy side of my mom's family is Metzger, which means butcher in German. And my dad's side of the family were 3 generations sausage makers. Like, I know that and all that, right? Like, but it was just one of those moments where I'm like, come on, that is just too close to home. I haven't seen this movie in forever. I was having like all these, like, I was connecting all these dots, having all these like healing moments, all these soul retrieval moments. And then to hear that, I mean, not only are there a gazillion names in the world, but like the teacher's name was Mr. Metzger. I'm like, And my grandpa was like the real like divine masculine heavy in our family. And it's kind of interesting because I feel like it was my grandma's side of the family that was really witchy, but they weren't themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like it was almost like he was like I don't know how to explain it, but like he butchered that side of them. Like they repressed that side of themselves. Like I'm not saying my grandpa did, you know, but he had a really, you know, rough childhood as well. And I started to look at my parents. So maybe you guys will be drawn to the past life deck, but I started looking at all of these things like with my family, with my parents. So I highly recommend that you watch something or connect to something that is from your childhood. I mean, the rest of the movie, like I had to take a break. I'm not exaggerating. I had to take a break halfway through. It was just so intense. I loved every second of it. It was so good. It's like I almost didn't want it to end because in some ways it was like I'd never seen it before because it was so long ago. And I'm 53, you know, so that's a long, long time ago. But in other ways, I was like, it was just too intense. I just couldn't stop thinking about that time in my life. And but at the same time it was bringing me back to who I am and who I am not and who I was programmed to be. And so spirit is asking you, reading one, beautiful everyday witch, to connect with all sides of yourself. Some of you I'm hearing it's not time to get an animal yet. You need to be free like this. But do you see how like the cat is like literally under, like almost like on this side of the everyday witch and she's on the other side? It's almost like this is what would you call it, spirit? Like a barrier. It's almost like a barrier. You know what I mean? But they're still there and they're with you. But yeah, the music thing is really intense. I can't stop seeing that for the life of me. So I feel like reading one, like you really thrive with music. And I'm hearing to allow yourself to connect to that side of yourself, because what I'm getting is that the artistry, that's why Leonardo da Vinci came in as well. And whenever they have me share my personal stories, it's because it's very parallel or somehow in line with what's going on with you as well. When I looked down, it was 1748, but then it was weird. It went backwards, 47, 40. So it's almost as if you're going backwards. Oh my gosh. Okay, so these cards almost like stuck together and they were just like this. So I'm going to pull them out that way. And I want to see if there's any more. Okay, this one is over here. Okay. And this one is over here. Any more? Okay. Wow. Okay. Alrighty. All right. They're asking me to, okay, so when I shuffled them, there was one on the bottom and one on the top. You know what I mean? So I'm going to leave them there in case they want them to be there. And I am feeling like they want me to kind of pull this out a little bit. Okay. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting how they had me put these to the left. And also underneath the Queen of Pentacles is a Labradorite, just an FYI. So there are more cards here, but let's just like start here. I want you to see it upright though. So we have the Three of Wands, and look at, we've got a cat again. So some of you see how there's nothing in between. Now, remember, these are mass readings. So you need to take from it what you need and leave behind what you don't. I love that saying because it's so freaking true. Okay, so this is, they're having me keep it over to the right, but I did want you to see this. It's the Ten of Swords in reverse. And I'm seeing a divine masculine here, by the way. And look at that, how someone's like running away. Oh, wow. But this was in reverse. So, but we'll see how it folds into the story. But they're not having me focus on it. They're having me focus on this. Okay. And I feel as if they want you to look at the imagery. Oh, wow. Look at how I was going to change it, but look at how the light is reflecting onto the, like, their back. Now, remember, that was in reverse, though. So I'm feeling like whatever your situation is, drink some water. It feels divine masculine related, so I'm going to start there. I don't know if it's going to be just that, but I was feeling I need to clear my throat. Wow, look at how pretty that visual is right now. Do you see where the light is on the Queen of Pentacles on the left? Like she's like, this is who you are. Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm literally standing back. Now I know that the light is playing with each other and the wind is outside and all that, but see, it's not moving now. But I feel like they're trying to get your attention. They want you to see something, and I'm going to shut my mouth because I feel like you need to just look at it for a second. And I believe those are downloads, by the way, why it's clicking like that. I feel like those are some type of like download. Also, my eyes went to the Lemurian crystal and the still bite. So this is still bite. Maybe you needed to get some downloads from the... Oh, do you see that to the right on the bottom look like a man? Holy shit. I see it, Spirit. I see it. Do you see it? Depends on which way I hold it. But oh, but it looks like it has a heart in his chest. Cute. And then to the left is a mushroom. I saw that. And then let's see if the... Ooh. I saw like this pink, really pretty pink hue. Okay, so I watched a video yesterday, and you know, I don't believe there are any accidents, but I watched this video and it was about the divine masculine and the divine feminine and twin flames right now. So if you believe you're in a twin flame relationship, then just know that the divine masculine, like, it's almost as if they've been taken over like pod people, right? Like an alien invasion kind of movie. But what's happening is, just as much as now I'm not saying that there aren't any men, quote unquote, that watch this or divine masculine driven, but or however you want to explain it, right? Like, because it's such an in-depth thing. But this there's like this emptiness. Do you see this here? I wanted to put something here and they said no. Do you see this? I feel like there's this emptiness, and a lot of the divine feminines are stepping into their power. Oh, the robin bird's back. That's a big one too. Oh my gosh, do you want me to... Hold on. Do you see them? There, they just went away again. So work with the robin bird too. And on 4/20 Easter, third quarter moon reading. Oh, that's beautiful. The robin bird came in. So if you haven't watched that reading, maybe there's a message for you in there. But yeah, I'm getting this vibe that the divine masculine is really struggling and suffering right now. And we cannot be pulled down by that. It's something they have to go through on their own. And I feel like for some of us, like, we are in relationships where we were, whether we wanted to or not, we're placed in like a mother role or a caregiver, caretaker role. And they're saying that, see that? Look at the light. You can love them and hold love for them, but they need to get through this on their own. I had my own personal experience with that yesterday. And my shadow like came out in full force, and I started to realize like what was happening in my twin flame relationship, and it was really rough. I've been crying a lot. So in real time, we're in the eighth moon cycle, the last moon cycle, the rest and restore phase. Wow. These grids are really coming through. I don't know if you guys are getting any downloads, but this is really powerful. And maybe if you're new and you're like, I don't know why I was drawn to that. If you're here, you're obviously a witch. You're obviously a healer. If you were, oh, look at how it went out of focus from the crystal and went to that. Like, that's you. And you are sitting on a gold mine. And the only reason why you're feeling like this is because you're stuck, but you're not stuck. That's the thing. Oh, it won't even let me put it up there. You're not stuck. That's the thing. You're not stuck. That's the thing. You think you're stuck. You're not stuck. You're stuck in a chapter and in a time, but you're not stuck. Oh my gosh, look at that. Because you're not speaking your truth. There, look at how, see how your heart chakra is so bright? It's like, whoa, that's awesome. But it's also, it's so bright that now you're in shadow. Like, you're giving so much away that you're depleted. So, okay, so you know how these are like this? So I'm going to just show you, okay? So the next one is number 16, the Tower. Look at how pleased she is with it. So it's time for change. It's time for change. And it's going to be a sudden change too. It's time to tear that down. And for some of you, it's for real. For some of you, it's not just a metaphor. Like, it's like time to, you know, maybe it's time for a remodel of your house. Maybe it's a time for, you know, a complete, like, shake up, tear down, brand new, a whole new world, right? That is really powerful. So that's why they were telling me not to get the book, because it's almost, they're so self-explanatory. And then on the back of this is the sun in reverse. I mean, this like almost feels like a personal reading for me, which, you know, we always say how aligned we are, you guys, but like, seriously, I'm so aligned with you right now. But look at that. Look at, she's pregnant, she's fruitful, the harvest. So, okay, interesting. So the timeline I got from this, which I do not get very often, do you notice that they've also got like young animals, and this almost like, to me, looks like a kitten and like a full-grown cat and like a dog. But I'm also hearing divine feminine energy. There isn't enough divine feminine energy out there, which is why you don't feel like your kingdom is secure. You don't feel secure. You keep sliding down. You're not, I mean, I could just as easily turn this around, you know what I mean? And put it this way. And that's what they're saying. That's what it feels like. Okay, so that's so interesting too. I feel like that's what it is. It's going to be something so simple as just turning something a certain way. Because look at the way that's like almost glowing right there. Do you see that? And it's about getting grounded. What did I say about laying a strong foundation? We were talking about the number 4 and the number 8, infinity. So like, I feel like for some of you, you're going to have to break down all the walls. You're going to have to I'm hearing like you're going to have to also break down every thought you ever knew. You're going to have to break down everything you ever knew. When I looked down, it was like exactly 29 minutes. And before I started this, it was like 9/11, which is also the number 11 if you add it together, you know, angel numbers. And then it was something 2 was like, oh, it was 9/20. And I was like, oh, 9/11 again. And so when I looked down, it was 29. And what is, you know, 29 or 92 and 29 mirror, you know what I mean? But it's also the number 11. So you guys are clearly angels. And I do feel like some of you, this is going to hurt, but for some of you, you are dealing with a twin flame, but some of you, it's just like noxious gas. That's what fucking spirit just said. Wow, that's like really intense. It's just, and I'm hearing gas, like gaslighting too, like just somebody who's going to keep telling you that they're going to change, or they're going to tell you that, you know, blah, 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 but in this relationship with you, they are not going to change. On the flip side of that, with some of you, the only way they're going to change is with you. And this is where you need to use your intuition to tell the difference. Because let's put it this way, at this point in time on earth, especially if you found yourself to this reading, you are so powerful. I mean, my God, look at, you're a queen. They showed you right away that you were a queen. But it's like you're not seeing that. You're not seeing that you need to have the destruction. The Tower card is up. And look at, she's not mad about it. She's got a little grimace. But I'm hearing not because of revenge. If some of you, if it is, revenge is not good. I just actually did a shorts for that. I don't know when they'll have me post it, but it's not about the revenge. It's about the, I told you shit was going to get real, but not with an ego way. It's more like this had to be done. And look, now we can rebuild. Now we can start from somewhere brand new. And I almost feel like this is a wink, wink back to you. Like, get the fuck out of this situation, because this is where you come from. And this is where your higher self wants you to get back to. And look at, you got a whole new family down there. I didn't even notice until now, all the cats, a whole family. You're going to have what you want and what you need. But right now, you need to be alone. You need to be by yourself. When Bubba was leaving me, I'm trying not to cry. But I said, I don't understand why, why? And then finally she just said, because I can't go where you're going. And I still don't 100% know what she meant by that, but I have a feeling I know what she meant by that, And it's the same thing. It's like, you can't, if you're at a precipice, especially because the artist thing keeps coming out and the musician part keeps coming out, it's like, it's very difficult to be creative and happy and joyful when you are constantly taking care of other people, especially if they're people who drag you down or don't believe in what you believe in. Like, that kind of stuff is really, really difficult. I used to think it was okay to like have people in my life that I'm like, well, they're Christian and, I'm me and it's fine. But then the more I would like try and be myself, the more I realized like I was still the odd person out. And I was like, you know what? I don't belong here. And that's okay. I send them love and they're wonderful, but I don't need to be in their orbit or be in their lives to still love them. Sometimes we give people as much as we're meant to give them and then we move on. But we're not here to be just constantly taking care of other people. That's not how it works. And I feel like for some of you, it's time to go on like a really like in-depth solitude journey as much as you possibly can. I'm even hearing I don't know if this is for one person, but I'm seeing somebody like selling everything. Like, you're just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna, I watched this movie yesterday of this, it was funny because it was starting in Chicago, which is from where I'm from, but another movie where I had to laugh at Spirit because I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, everything in the movie was like down to like, she was like, oh, this is my mom, Susan, which, my mom died last year and her name is Susan. But, those kind of things were like, because lately I've been just watching like I've been binge watching Project Runway, like starting like from the beginning, and the All-Stars for like months, basically since Bubba died, because I noticed that every movie, every show, everything just reminded me of her. And I just couldn't handle it, or not just her, but my mom, or like, I felt like I was on overload. I'm like, I need to just watch something, and what the plus side of that is that I actually went to college for fashion design, and it literally inspired me to like create again. And I've been having so much fun like doing things like that. And then I noticed lately that I kind of took a break from it again and was doing other things. But you know why? Because of the situation that I was in. And I was like, if I wasn't in this situation, I wouldn't be doing this. But it's okay. It's building character, it's building strength, and I'm where I'm supposed to be. But that's the moment right now is where you're like, I don't know what to do. They're like, just be where you are because you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So do what makes you happy. You know, I love to color. I'm obsessed with like gel pens and glitter gel pens, and I have all these different coloring books, and they really inspire me. And my two favorite coloring books, or I should say the two that I color in the most, are my mandalas and my witch and fairy coloring books, because this is me. And I feel like this is who you are too. But, you know, in order to find this abundance in the sun, you have to let things go. And for our northern hemisphere people, it's going to happen in the fall, because this feels like a harvest energy, especially with the sunflowers, you know, because a lot of people would be like, oh, it's, you know, it could be spring, but it's like, no, this is, no, this is very powerful. And also work with the sunflower energy, because they're just so happy and bright, and they're the hardest working flower in nature. So I'm going to keep that upright. And so this is where you need to be again. Traveling. Seeing the world. And look at, there's even like a cute little lizard down there. We can live without animals. You know, if another thing that would be really helpful is if you need to do a change of pace or a change of scenery, try and work on a farm or somewhere where they have animals, where it's like you can, you know, get some room and board, make some money, get back to, you know, like who you are. I don't know. I just feel like whenever Spirit has me watch certain things that I don't normally watch, I feel like, especially when they have me do a reading the next day like this, I feel like it means something. Also, this is in reverse, the Ten of Swords. Isn't it interesting? So we've got, let's look at the card part. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, the Ten of Swords, the Tower, and the Sun. And then I want to look at the numbers. So the Tower is number 16, which is 7. And then we have 3, and then 10. And then the Sun is 19, which is also 10, if you add it together. That's what I was going to say. I felt like we had 2 10s. That's why. Okay, Spirit. And I can't get over the fact that this feels like, like, I feel like this is you in this red cape. It's almost like these two are part of the same story, especially because they were in reverse too. Right? It's like they're part of the same story. It's like there's her cape. Do you see what I'm saying? And I feel like this is her and him. Like, I don't know, this, I kind of feel like there's going to be, for some of you who it's time to be done, I feel, oh shit, look at that. You guys, come on. It's like almost like basically like sitting there by itself. That's crazy. But it's not crazy, because this is what I feel like you need to see. And, ugh, this is the worst part. I don't usually like to say things like that, but look at how the light is in them. And they're trying to reach for their inner, like, it's almost like they're demons in the darkness and the shadow. See with the crow up there, because crows are magic, but they also have like a death energy, especially being in black, like they're there for shadow. So I feel like for some of you, this person is not your twin flame, but for those of you who it is your twin flame, this is what's so sad about this one, is that I feel like they're in shadow right now and they can't reach their broom. They can't get to their broom because they're in shadow. It's like there's a part of them that sees it. So Spirit is saying, fight for them, fight for their love, fight hard, because they need your help. But for the others of you, see, now they had me put it back there. Do you see how the light's not there? It's like you need to let that go. That's why you're fleeing and running away. That's why this card has so much. It's so interesting, the duality, especially because we're in April 22. And like we said, 22 is the number 4. So it's like, but it's 4 4, right? Like there's a divider. So it's like, it's almost like once you're doing them a favor by leaving too, because once you leave, they'll be able to find their magic again. But see, you need to take your light with you and go. And see, now, do you see how like your light is there and it's with you, with your familiar by your side? And you're healing the situation now. You're literally like healing the situation. You can send them loving healing energy, right? But when it was in the light there, I felt like that was like the twin flame energy was like, I'll give you some of my light because look now you're strong. But until you get to the point where you are strong enough to help them, what a pretty picture. I gotta take it. That's pretty. This is a really intense reading, you guys. And there's so many levels, and I'm doing my best not to bring my life into it because I'm like, I really like to keep these about you guys, but these are like what you need to hear right now. So for some of you that, have been listening to these readings for a long time, it may seem redundant and I'm saying the same thing over and over and over, but they're like, yeah, but do you not get it? Like, that's right. I'm saying the same thing over and over and over. Some of you, your Beshert, your twin flame, is at the end of the dark night of the soul. And also I'm feeling like when you interact with them, and this is for whether or not this is your twin flame or just a relationship soulmate, that it's time for you to move on from each other's stories, because that's all it is. But what I'm getting from that is like, it's about moving on. It's about getting out of that energy of the shadow, because whenever you interact with them, and this could be a divine masculine who's dealing like incarnate, right? Like a man, quote unquote, dealing with a woman, a divine feminine, but she's really heavy in her divine masculine. You hear me? You feel me? So this can go that way too, because I feel like there's at least one, like, I feel like a very strong, straight male who is watching this right now, and is having a really hard time with his, like you're balanced, you're fine, but she's not. Like, she's in her masculine because she's maybe hasn't healed a trauma, or, you know what I'm saying? And this could go for anybody in this reading. This feels so profound, and this picture is so pretty, I almost want to cry, because I just am feeling, because I'm with you. This is definitely part of my story too. But this is when I have to keep checking in and going, how much is this is mine? Because I don't want to get emotional and be like, warning, Will Robinson, like, because my human wants to take over. But it's a very good like strategy from spirit, as like testing me too, to like understand to let go of that old programming. Because that's all it is. It's just an old programming. When we're stuck in shadow, it means that we're stuck in a form of something that no longer exists. And we need to work through it and then go out of it. But if we stay in it, see how this is, and they're having me, I could change the lighting, I could change things, but it's like, this part is what's really getting me, is how their light. Oh, I knew it. I was like, if I pick that up, but I know why, because also I feel like for some of you, you're Lemurian. Like, you're just super heart-centered. That's why you're here too, right? Like, beyond, of course, you're an empath, but it's like, I just feel like this very heart-centered energy of Lemurian. And this could be a twin flame relationship that was in another life. I'm getting this too, because I'm feeling the light over here. Is the twin, because the tower, they wanted to show you that, the tower in the middle. Because I feel like all it was pain and suffering, and even if it was really good for a long time, like, I'm getting this vibe, even if it was really good for a long time, it's like, but the world has changed, people have changed, you have changed, they have changed, we all are going through a magnificent, such a huge change. And for those who don't believe in the magic, will never find it. They'll be stuck in this energy of like, I'm the victim. Look, I've been stabbed in the back, but they're still alive. They're still alive. And they're trying to reach for their magic. And the crow's even trying to give them some magic, right? Like, they're like, I'm trying to help you, man. But look at the girl and the cat, like, they had to go. The divine feminine and the cat, like, they had to go. But they turned around and they're like, hey, we got you. We're going to send you some loving energy. Because I don't feel like it's this. We can put it here. Maybe it is for somebody. I'll put it here if they want me to. It's like it's almost like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So when you were in this relationship every day, you couldn't look at no magic is happening. You can't even, you could barely see the light coming out of their wand, but they were coming out of the shadow. It's like this person that you're dealing with, they're like stuck in the shadow. This could be this. Now, this is the first time this came through, and this is getting really long for reading one. Goddess knows. I'm like, how many more are we going to do? 3 more? But that's not what it's about. I definitely am feeling a mother wound as well. And I'm feeling like there is some like angel that's looking over them, but let them heal on their own. The longer you stay there, I'm getting this vibe. Now, this isn't the twin flame thing. This is like for somebody else. The longer you stay in this relationship, and for some of you, if you're living with them, like the longer you stay there, the more you're torturing both of you. But definitely them, because you will recover faster. And I feel like you know that. But let them find their light. Like, let them, like, you know, if you're just there, they're not going to be able to figure it out. Okay, so remember at the beginning I said I felt like they wanted us to see. So this was at the bottom, the 4 of Swords. Now another 4. And look at how peaceful they're sleeping by themselves. And look at the spider webs. What did I say about working with the spider spirit medicine? And look at the cats. Now this is you. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to live my life the way I want to. I'm going to go and be happy. And look at their swords are put away. They don't have to fight. There's no aggression. There's no sadness. It's like they're just calm and peaceful and pleasant. Look at that. And you know, it's interesting. We're in the waning crescent right now. But that, I think that's the waxing crescent. So I feel like by the next moon cycle, so in real time, the new moon in Taurus is right around the corner. And I feel like in real time, the new moon in Taurus, if you see this, and you can make this in any wish, but if you're watching it in real time, you know, Taurus is a very beautiful grounding energy. I love the second house. Taurus is probably one of my favorite signs of all time. So I'm hearing during Taurus season to really find that balance and that chi within yourself, because look at this, the King of Cups. And what is the King of Cups in reverse? This is somebody who has no emotion. You know what's really sad is I feel like this is somebody, I'm just going to be honest, I feel like for some of you, this is somebody who's like going to like cry and like boo-hoo, boo-hoo. But you know what? A week, few weeks, a month after you're gone, until they heal their wound and all that, they're just going to go and find somebody else. And you're going to be over here and still looking back to make sure they're okay. And they're not even fucking looking at you. They don't give a shit. They got a new cat. I love calicos. Calicos are so great. They got a new cat who's, you know, whatever. Oh, and for those of you who, the dolphin's been coming up a lot in a lot of our readings. So if you had one of the picker readings with the dolphin, work with the dolphin spirit medicine as well. To be playful and free and just, you know, stop looking back. You know what? Because they're not looking back at you. They're like, oh, my cup is empty. I'll just find somebody else. That's the thing, is that when somebody's not ready to heal or change, or, you know what I mean? They'll just go and find somebody else. And as much as that hurts, that's the truth. So you know what? Then what we do is we say, bye-bye. I'm going to go and be with the people that I want to be with and the people that make me feel good about myself. And who are these people? Look at that. Divine feminine. Divine feminine. And I feel like almost like this is, I feel like this is who you truly are. And this is who you've been. And now you're like, and that smirk is, yeah, I remember who I am. When I looked down, I was 4904. And 49 is the number 13. Oh my gosh, that's so powerful. And then, of course, 4. Because we've been, but yeah, so this is, and look at her, like in her crone. You're going to be sitting pretty. It's not going to be easy. But you know what? Lean on your divine feminine right now, and also love them as hard as you can. And I know that is tough, and that can not always feel like the best advice, but just love them back, because you know what? My beautiful, beautiful, beautiful divine feminine angels, the old saying is, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love anybody else? And not all women are going to root for you, but I'm getting this vibe that this wants to come through, by the way. I'm like, it's almost like falling off the table. Actually, it was falling off the table. I'm getting this vibe that once you find this community of divine feminine women, like this, of course you're going to cry and you're going to have moments and memories and you know what I mean? Like that stuff's going to come back. You're going to feel sad, but won't it be great? I'm going to grab that card again. When you have this kind of rest and you're like, yeah, I'll clean up when I need to, but for now I rest. And another 4. I mean, my gosh, you guys. So this is a rainbow calcite. And one of our tribe members said, I feel like there's a portal in there. And I'm like, I think there's a lot of portals in here. So work with rainbow calcite as well. This is a nice big chunk. It's not even that expensive. But it's really good for inspiration. Carnelian is really good for inspiration, for creative inspiration. Okay, you guys, I think those are your messages, but you know, of course, I always like to ask Spirit one more time before we close the portal. Do we have any more messages for reading 1, Spirit? Okay, I think we got it. Wow. Thank you. I know that they said thank you and they understand that this isn't easy, but you got this. You can do this. They're with you. Call on Spirit. Work with these spirit animals, you know, work with the angel numbers. They're there for a reason. Definitely the spider. She just came back again. Oh my gosh, hold on. She wants you to see her. Hold on. She says, hello. Hi. Look at, yep, see? She's so sweet. She's like my bestie. So, you know, see how she's trying to walk slow and show you like, it's okay. We all have a path and a purpose. Oh, look at, she's trying to show you how gentle she is and how gentle spiders can be. Right, huh? Yay! Yeah, she's like, yay, look at me. And some people are like, that means they attack. I'm like, no, not always. But anyway, she's going to go and she says to have a blessed day and a blessed life and work with spider spirit medicine and call on her whenever you need her. Okay. Thank you, dear friend. She's so great. Hold on. Okay. Till next time, please take really good care of yourselves and each other. I love you so much. Spirit loves you. Work with your heart chakra, your divine feminine energy. You know, just when people come at you with fierce harshness, come back at them with love as much as you can. As much as you can. Spirit understands that we're human here. They know, they understand. But stay in your royalty, stay in your dignity. Do you understand? Do you see that? You're in that space for a reason. You have such a magnificent purpose here. Don't be dissuaded by others, especially for those of you who are telling you who you are. The more you take time away from those people, the more I guarantee you will find your power. So sit in that power and take it back so you can rest easy. All right, you guys, all of my information is in the description box if you'd like to work with me one-on-one to go more in depth with your path and where you are in your journey. And also, if you would like to contribute any decks, we have an Amazon link there. And also, if it's in your wheelhouse to do so, I have a link for my Venmo. It's never expected, but always appreciated. And it's about the exchange of energy. So if those are not in your wheelhouse to do, that's okay. Just send a prayer for me and you and for this transaction today. Okay? I love you so much. Take good care of yourselves. Blessed be. Aho. Bye. Welcome, reading 2. You know, I take a lot of energy to not have that line from the window be in frame, but they really wanted me to bring the crystal in. So every time I work with this tarot deck, I always feel very intense, earth, playful, fairy energy. So in real time, Blessed Earth Day, it is 4/22/2025. When I started this, it was at, I think, 53, 56. which 53 is the number 8 and 56 is the number 11. And if you are drawn to reading 1, you may want to go watch it. But if you're not, there's no pressure. But in reading 1, it was interesting because 911 kept coming up a lot. So if you keep seeing 911 or forms of like 111, 1111, like angel numbers, you may want to go over there. But it was, I'm just going to tell you up front, it was very relationship based. I don't normally say that, but like, I feel like there was a lot of good energy in there, very intense energy. It was a very long and beautiful and fruitful reading, but there were so many different types of relationships that were in there that I feel like if you are struggling in your relationship, you may want to go and watch it. But if you're not in a relationship, it's not, you know what I mean? Like there was a moment where I felt like a mother energy where it could be a mother wound, or you know what I mean? Like I don't want to tell you. If you're drawn to it, you're drawn to it. But I don't normally get this detailed and specific about not to do something. So I just want to make sure that, you know that that it was very specific, and spirit doesn't always get very specific. Okay. So that's it. So welcome to your reading. And I apologize because in real time, like I said, it is Earth Day, and I don't know if it's just people are off work or traveling, or, I know a lot of schools do things on Earth Day now. Some jobs let people have, Earth Day. Where I live in the Pacific Northwest, Earth Day is like one of the few days that all the parks, it's legal. Like if you don't have a pass, that you can go to any park anywhere in Washington state and it's free. So it's funny because I always want to go out into nature on Earth Day, and every time we would go, I'm like, why do I do this? It's like people who go out to eat all the time and fine dining, and then they go to their favorite restaurant on Valentine's Day, and it's like amateur hour because people don't usually, not a lot of people anyway, spend that kind of money, except for when I was a server, I was always like, no, I don't want to work Valentine's Day. And it's just not anything negative. It's just you didn't tend to make a lot of money because it's a lot of people who don't know how to tip, or they don't understand the etiquette of fine dining, and it's like a whole different experience. And it's kind of like that for us for Earth Day. It's like we live here. These are our favorite places to hike. So on Earth Day, it's like you go there and you're like, oh my God, there's nowhere to park. You know what I mean? So I don't know why they had me bring that up. Maybe that's going on for some of you. Maybe it's time for you to, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What is that? Hold on. I don't know if I can get it on camera. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys saw that, but this massive bird, I don't even know what it was. This massive bird just like, oh gosh, I really hope that reads, because I said, do you want me to make it more, better? And they're like, no, this is fine. But oh my goddess, I'm sorry, but that was, wow. So maybe this is like a wink for you guys to like, get out in nature. That's been coming up a lot for our tribe. And obviously if you're coming, from a place where it's normally not very warm, right? Maybe it's still not warm where you are. Just because it's April 22nd doesn't mean it's warm where you are, But look at that. They wanted me to bring that into view for my nature, for my fairies. Or maybe you're living somewhere where like you want this to be your view, but you're living in a city, or you're living in a town or a state or a country where it's not what you love, or it doesn't feel good to you, I'm hearing then go live where you feel good. One of my favorite cartoons, if you've been with me before, I've brought this up many times, but one of my dearest friends growing up hated winter more than anybody I knew. Like I hated winter too. We grew up in Chicago. So I get it, but no, she hated it. And every single year she would, when the weather would get to the point where she was like, ugh, she would post the funniest, darkest shit. And one of the things was, this cartoon of someone who looks miserable, and the weather looks miserable, and it says, the weather hurts my face. Why do I live somewhere where the weather hurts my face? So Spirit's saying, then don't live where the weather hurts your face. Go where you feel good. Go where you feel free. Recently, one of our tribe members, and I haven't asked them, so I'm not going to share without saying, but we hadn't spoken in a while. We both had a really tremendously rough year. And as we were comparing notes, they shared with me that they were moving to this place where they loved. It was like, they just traveled around a lot. And I told them, I'm like, the best way to really find yourself and find where you love is to travel, because if you may love something, but until you get up close and live it every day, it's a different story. Might be like, oh, I love going on vacations there. It's like the best, right? But then the reality of it is it's actually not. When you live there full time, you have to deal with this and that, right? Sometimes things look really, really good on paper, but they're not the best. But anyway, I was very happy for them when they shared with me that they were moving back to one of the places that they had done a work trade, and they loved it so much. They spoke about it more than any other place, and I, could sense that that's where their home felt. It felt like home to them, at least for whatever. So very happy for them. So congratulations to our tribe member for taking risks and putting themselves out there, and and saying, I'm gonna just keep trying until I find the right place. So I say the same for you. There was a time where this view out my window was something I never thought I'd be able to attain. But also, as you probably heard, the traffic is horrible. And sometimes we have to be in a state of limbo, because when we're in a state of limbo is when we find our strength and our foundation. They were sharing with me that they had one of the roughest years of their lives, but yet their reward is that they're going to go back to the place that they felt the most connected to spirit, the most home, the most like themselves. They went through the shadow, the dark night of the soul. They faced it and confronted it, and they'll confront more, of course. And maybe this is, who knows how long they'll stay there. But they get to live the experience of it. Because when you're only, I think she was only there like maybe 3 months, maybe longer, I don't know, maybe 6 months. But either way, I know from personal experience, you need 4 seasons, a full year to be somewhere to like really feel it. And that's why we move around a lot, is because we go, meaning Alder and I, we're still connected at this time. But, we are pulled to move to different places, to go to different places. And my sweet fairies, I feel like it's time for you to fly. I'm feeling this very heavy, confined, like almost like not a victim. I don't feel a victim mentality, but I definitely feel like I can't because. So spirit would like you to change your thought process and the words in your mind and your thoughts through meditation and connecting with them, and finding the words and thoughts that will bring the positive experience into your reality. If you're like, well, I can't move because I don't have money, or I can't move because I don't have a job, or I can't move, or I can't travel because of this, and I can't do. Well, of course, if you say I can't, then you won't. But if you're ready to see the world through a different scope, through a different lens, if you're ready to have things move around and see them from a different vantage point, then maybe you'll finally see. Because what did I say about that big bird? Look at that, you guys. They had me bring that piece of shell in. Do you see that piece of shell? Tell me that doesn't look like a bird. When I found it on the beach, I was like, what in the world? And I'm going to bring it closer because it's really powerful. It looks so tribal too. And this is a piece of shell from the beach. And I'm going to turn it this way because I almost feel like it wants to, hold on. Do you see that? It's like they want you to start seeing life from a different perspective, from a different vantage point. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to work with bird spirit medicine. I need to find out what kind of bird that was, because I don't even know if I've ever seen anything like that. That's why I was going, because we've been living here for a few months now. Let's say April. So we moved in the first week in March. So we've been here about 6 weeks, 7 weeks. What is the 22nd? So yeah, nearly 2 months. And behind there is eco, like wetland, like, you know what I mean? Like it's protected, by the state, and nothing lives in there but animals and birds. And that's the beginning of the Olympic Mountains. So there's no humans in there. You can't survive in there actually because of the mudflats. But I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that, like, I have seen so many birds, big birds, blue crane, or blue heron, a crane. I've seen eagles, owls, so that looked like a peregrine. That looked like a falcon. But if that was a falcon, that was the biggest falcon I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, I need to find out what kind of bird that is. And then I will let you know. But clearly, Spirit is calling to you through nature, in all different realms. But they want you to start looking at things through a different lens and a different perspective. Okay, so we're gonna dive in here and see what messages we have from the tarot. I love this deck. I love this deck. It's one of my favorite decks of all time. I love all my decks, actually. It's like, but this one I love because it's so playful and youthful, and it has fairies like written all over it. So I'm not sure if these are our cards, but let's see. Do we have any more cards, Spirit? Okay. That was, well, because when they come out like that, like sometimes when they stick together, I always want to know, so they're this way, but before I flip them, I just want to make sure they're in the right direction. Are they in the right direction of how I felt that too? Do we want to flip them? Okay. Do you want them at the same time? Okay. Okay. All right, my loves. So I don't know if you've been looking up at the crystal ball up here, and there's a crystal ball down here, but I also have been getting a lot of scrying energy. And I feel like when they have us working with the scrying energy, it's because there's messages that there are unseen messages. Basically, it's the vibe I'm getting from Spirit, is that there are some unseen messages that you're not seeing right now. Wow, what is going on? 1 second it was perfectly fine, and now it's almost like you don't want to see it. You guys are so powerful. This happened with reading 1 too. Sometimes when you guys don't want to see things or don't want to know things, it's like your energy is so intense that I can't even set up the reading. Do you know what I mean? Like like right now, it's like it doesn't want to hold my camera. It doesn't want to stay still. But I'm like, you guys, you gotta get the medicine. It's like the kid that's like, I don't wanna. And the parent's like, well, you gotta take the medicine, bud. You gotta take it. Okay, is this good? Are you okay? Okay, all right. Okay, everybody. Let's get going. Oh, they wanted the flame in there. Let's drink some water. Please drink some water. And if you don't have any water, please pause this and go and get some water. Not tea, not fresh, clean water. Okay. When I looked down, it was 108.15. So your angel number to work with is 1815. If you're new here, I call out certain things that's for you to write down and work with. Especially on these pick readings, they don't always have me put things in the description box. Like reading 1, there were so many energies and entities that we work with. It's like I'd have to be taking notes and go back and watch it. So that's for you to research and look up on your own, okay? I do this much of the work and you take it the rest of the way. Okay, so your first message is, the 9 of Swords. That's interesting. Oh gosh, I almost put it in front of the flame. Oh, see why I love these cards? Because they're just so precious. So, the 9 of Swords in reverse. His name is Woe. Also, they had me look at this when they were made. So I feel like 2011 is a actual like year for some of you. I feel like that means something. So let's go. I know that, oh my gosh, it's like he wants to be upside down. Okay. All right. Where do you want to go? Over here? I just am feeling this energy. Okay. All right. Oh, and they had me, put that crystal there. That's a chevron amethyst. It's a really powerful amethyst. So I'm feeling like a lot of healing energy. Also, this is some sea glass, and then this is honey calcite is next to it. So if you want to work with those crystals, I feel like they want to work with you. Okay. So because I do as I am asked, this one they did ask me to read from the book, because I'm not a tarot expert and I can tell you all day long what I see or feel, but I feel like this is really for you. So the key words of the Nine of Swords are perspective. Oh my gosh, isn't that so funny? We just said that about you having a different perspective. I love when spirit is so playful. Thank you. Okay, oppression, anxiety, hope, and light. So because it was in reverse, I'm going to start there. So the reverse is about distrust, suspicion, and total isolation. Ooh, my throat chakra. Work with your throat chakra. It's also on page 43, which I feel like is significant, and it also could be mirrored 34, but either way it comes down to the number 7. And we know we work in cycles of 7, so I'm feeling something really intense with that. But I'm going to read all of it so you can take from it what you need, leave behind what you don't. So it says, frozen by fear, Woe sits in a tree, terrified by the piranha-like creatures around him. If only he were to look up and see the heart flowers dangling from the branches, he'd discover that a change in perspective makes all the difference in the world. When worry and anxiety overtake your life, it's time for some soul searching and mind healing. Change will begin once you recognize that you need a change. Release those mental fears and have faith that there is always a solution. Okay, so, this is one of those like open, like what you need to hear right now. So I'm going to take Woe and put him back here, and I'm going to see what this one is. Okay, and it's the world upside down. I literally just heard you feel like your world's upside down. So either your world is really upside down right now, or you feel like your world is upside down. I'm going to kind of pull out a little bit. Does that make sense to you? Do you feel like your world is upside down? It's also the number 10. It could be that something I'm feeling like something came to a completion or is about to come to a completion, or like it's already out there. You can't take it back, right? Like it's out there, it's over. I'm also feeling like good job and releasing the dead weight and the baggage. I feel like for some of you, you needed to turn this shit upside down, but you needed to look at it too, because for some of you, whoever this is, whether it's friend, family, lover, significant other, I feel like whoever this person is, like you had to tango with them. Do you see how they have like this duality here? Like they have the two birds. It's like I feel like this kind of circle, and it was like chasing each other's tails. But you know what it is? It's a wrap up from an old life. And we spoke about this in the last several readings we've done, whether it was group readings or picker readings, but the last several readings over the last few months, we've been talking about this, especially with the divine masculine kind of imploding and the divine feminine finding her footing and being like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Or, no, I don't want to be this way anymore. And they're like, I don't want to go in this tangled, all the tangled webs we weave in order to deceive, right? And some people are not understanding that it's a soulmate. It's not a twin flame. And especially, if it's a friend or family member, twin flames, there's a reason for it. It's an all-encompassing sexual, so you wouldn't have a twin flame relationship with your parent. It wouldn't work that way in this world, at least in this dimensional experience that we're having right now, with the multi-dimensional experiences happening all at once. Oh, now look down, is 1414, so that's another angel number to work with. But if we add that together, it's also 14 is 5, so 5 amplified twice, right? Change, transformation, and ending. So there's definitely an ending. I'm definitely feeling like there's an ending here, and to cut like all ties with this person. Also, for some of you, this is going to sound extreme, but this is for at least one person because I saw it like plain as day. So, I got to speak it if I see it. Some of you, or at least one person, you need to change your phone number. Just change it. And only give it to, I wouldn't even, I'll tell you, I've gone through this, like, I think I've changed my phone number 3 times in the last like 12, 13 years for many different reasons. But it's very freeing. It's a very freeing feeling because now, people don't respect or understand or even appreciate boundaries, especially those who are stuck in the 3rd dimensional experience. And I'll tell you right now, and this is going to sound so shitty, but I'm just going to fucking speak the truth that I'm feeling. The worst energy to deal with right now on the planet actually is not like the American president and his lackeys energy of the world, the billionaires. It's like, it's not even that. Like I can handle that because I see it for what it is, and I see the lack of consciousness, the lack of awareness, the lack of, you know what I mean? All of it. I mean, I see the narcissism, I see the oligarchy, but that's like so transparent. Like that's easy. That's the 3rd dimensional energy. That's like, okay, well, we know how to deal with that, right? But what's tricky right now are the people who are half awake and half asleep, or awake. Listen to that. But like running with that, like obviously listen to that. They need to get that fixed. That's not natural. There's something wrong with that vehicle. It's probably got a hole in the muffler or something, you know what I mean? But they'll just keep carrying on because who cares? Like, who cares about the environment? Who cares about, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But what's really, really difficult right now are people who believe that they are walking in spirit, but they're still stuck in the very ego, me, mine, selfish, like, and I'm sorry to tell you this reading too, but some of you fall into that category too. You are clutching too closely to things. You have got to let shit go. I'm feeling a very strong hoarding mentality, and the hoarding mentality comes from lack. It comes from abandonment. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Any therapist could tell you, but also as a spiritual guidance counselor, right? Like I'm telling you right now, it's tough. I'm going through that myself right now, where I'm like, why do I even want this? Or why do I even have this? It's time to let it go. And the cool thing is, every time I let go of things, new things come into my life. And then it's like fun because I get to experience that for a while and then I'll pass it on again. But it's like you can only take so much with you. So you need to let it go, right? Let your mind and your body and your heart feel love and go with that flow. I don't know where that came from, but that's at least for one person. So I'm going to turn this because your world is only upside down because you're allowing other people to tell you that it is. Because if you look at it through look at these moon cycles, man. And each one of these has like names. So time and space are her birds and orbit is their name, the creature. And and this is the wheel of like the astrology signs. So I feel like reading too, you guys are like the keepers of like the as above, so below, right? Like the natural fairy witches, the whatever you align with, I'm not going to tell you who you are, but I'm definitely feeling like once you release and let go of these people, places, and things, you're going to feel so much lighter, so much happier, and you're going to easily be able to balance things. Look at her arms are balanced, like their arms are balanced. I mean, you can look at that in any way, but it feels very divine feminine to me. Especially because the moon, she's representing the energy of the moon, which is a divine feminine energy. So the wheel, the keywords are change, revolution, cycles, movement, and fortune. Juggling the moon cycles, orbit embodies the spirit of constant change, infinitely setting a new tempo in life's heartbeat as oh, shit, look at that, see? That's crazy. That felt like divine feminine energy to me. but they say he in here. So this is interesting. We have to like look at this card through different eyes now. This is very powerful. Juggling the moon cycle's orbit embodies the spirit of constant change, infinitely setting a new tempo in life's heartbeat as he shifts forward from season to season. Perpetually in motion and always evolving, orbit's wheel of eternity never stops turning. A pair of cuckoo clock birds named Time and Space fly counterclockwise around him, monitoring actions and reactions. Your actions have a direct correlation to what happens in the future. Seek and recognize the cycles of life, for every turning point affects a personal transformation in circumstance and perspective. Another thing of perspective. In the midst of unstoppable change, opportunities will present themselves for a limited time. Take action in that moment so as not to lose out on lucky chances that spin your way. And in the reversed action, it says missing opportunities, resisting change, and a bad run of luck. You know, I was feeling like that too with woe. Like this kind of like, you know, woe is me. Like I'm feeling sorry for myself. And, you know, like I felt that energy too. And that's what I'm trying to talk about, you guys. Some of you have been in the victim mode for way too long, and you're using your spirituality as a crutch, but you're also using it as how do I explain it? Give me the word, Spirit. Is there another card? I feel like I'm like, is there another card maybe? Okay, there's another card. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Need I say more? It's also number 13. It's the Power of the Witch, which is 1 and 3 is 4. It's been coming up for a lot of us. Came up in reading 1 too. So Destiny is riding on metamorphosis. Okay, and let me just tell you, I have no windows open. None. I don't have a window open. And I don't know if you heard that fly. I don't know if they'll fly into the screen, but a fly just went by. Oh my gosh. So listen, little fly, if you are a spy, you must leave this house. But if you're here to help us with cheer, then you are welcome in this house. Did you see the fly go by? So flies represent change, death, decay. I want you to work with fly, spirit, animal. Interesting that we have a fly and we have a spider. I literally have a fly. Hi. I have a fly on my right hand side and I have a spider on my left. So the spider's been sitting with us since reading 1. This is my buddy. Hi, honey. Do you want to say hi? She just drank some water. Do you want to say anything? Okay. So go to reading 1 if you'd like to speak with them, because they spoke with reading 1. It was really cool. I think it's Bubba. I think Bubba's in the spider. I'm not joking or being like, I like want Bubba to be in the spider, but like, it's almost like when Bubba died, she's like, I can go anywhere, anytime. I'm so much more powerful, trust me. And that's how I feel like this is a message for you guys too. You're so much more powerful than you think. And we need the death. The death and the rebirth is what brings the prosperity. But if you're in this, oh, look at, oh, these people are so mean to me, and I'm an empath, and I'm saying it like that because that was me too. I was like this too. But it's time to say goodbye to this woe and fear and what's happening, because on the other side of death is where your fortune lies. Wheel of Fortune, right? Like that's what I kind of feel like. Oh my gosh, seriously, this fly is kind of tripping me out. Like, you guys, this is the first time I've even seen the fly or heard the fly, and it's a big one. I mean, right when I bring out the death card, what the fuck? That's how powerful you are. Like, that's what I'm trying to show you. Do you get it? We're in 2025. We're in the year of the snake. Why do you think all this shit is amplified right now all over the media? We don't even know which stories are real. Sometimes when I'm reading certain things, I will start to say a prayer for the situation, and Spirit's like, it's not real. It's fucking fabricated. I'm like, really? You know, and it's from both sides, by the way. It's from all sides. because people want people to feel sad and depressed and I don't have any power. No, 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 no. We're done with that shit. We're done with that shit. And I will give death her due because I feel like she deserves it. Also, Spirit wants me to say before we leave and walk away from the wheel, energy, the missed opportunities and resisting change, a bad run of luck. They're saying it's actually you believing that you're missing something, that you're forcing like what is meant to come to you to come your way. So just live in the flow every day. Set your intentions. I mean, look at where the light is. Look at how they had me put that, but look at the card. Do you see how that's like, she's going through a portal. Spirit's like, we're lighting the way for you. But look at, they're like, they had it right there. The light was right there. And look at your spirit animal is taking you there. But if you have your eyes focused up here, the animal's going to go through the portal, but you're not. You're going to smash into that wall and stay in this woe is me. I'm not kidding. This keeps coming up. You guys have got to get rid of shit. I feel like at least one person in this, you are holding on to like way too much stuff and you don't need to bring that much stuff with you, especially if they're like, maybe this is a message for somebody who wants to travel. You know, they're like, what do you really need though? Now, listen, I've done it through increments, and I know a lot of people who've done it through increments. I get it. You go and you get a storage unit, you put your stuff in there. I did it. I've done it many times. You know, for those of you who've been here many times, you know, but if you're new here, I am 53 years old. I have moved over 30 times, and I've lived in 5 states. So I know what it's like to leave your stuff in storage. And after the last time I did it, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And my one friend said to me, she had spent so much money on storage over the years. She traveled a lot too. She said, I think in the end, she spent like $12,000 on storage. And at the end of the day, when she got her stuff, she didn't even really want it anymore. You know why? Because she wasn't the same person. Because it was several years later and she wasn't the same person. And she was like, oh my gosh, and like paid all that money to hold on to stuff for security. For what? You know, look at, she's going light into, you know, she's not carrying any baggage with her. I feel like there's at least one more card wants to come out. Do we have one more card, Spirit, for reading too? These have been really beautiful because these are messages you need to hear right now. I had a feeling this was going to be in reverse. Oh my gosh, look at this. And another one. And I mean, what are the odds that the 8 of Wands on a rocket would be, look at, they're on a rocket, and then they're having me put it on here where they're moving in the movement forward. So 8 of Wands, we have zoom and boom and nucleus. Come on. Like, come on. Interesting though, look at the way this is going. It's going straight up into there. I feel like once you release this baggage, and for some of you, it's going to be all of the above, mental, emotional, physical, right? Like for some of you, it is going to be stuff. For some of you, it is going to be people. For some of you, it will be places. And for some of you, it will be all of the above. But look at how these little creatures are eyes. And I almost feel like these are 2 eyes. I just realized I was pointing, but you couldn't see it. But I almost feel like these are, I was pointing in the screen, but you can't see my finger. See how the 2 eyes are there? I feel like this is almost like a creature as well. Like another creature looking out for you. I know zoom and boom are like, I get it, but do you see what I'm saying? I feel like that's like spirit. Also, because we were talking about scrying and your powerful energy. What did I say? Oh, 8 of Wands, yeah. And wands are about action, right? Like wands are all about taking action. And also I'm hearing taking responsibility. For some of you, it's hard for you to hear this, but you've got to take some responsibility. And for some of you, it's like either it's looks related, meaning like, you know, to certain people, you're very good looking. And so you're always been able to get what you want or manipulate what you want. Or it could be that you're just, it has nothing to do with your looks, but you're just like super fucking charming. And like people just tend to do like what you want when, you know what I mean? Like I'm getting that kind of energy as well. Also, there was no wind earlier, and when I started these readings, the fucking wind came in. So do you see how the wind is blowing the trees back there? In real time in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in spring. And when we first moved here, all the trees out there were barren, and it was not nice. You couldn't see the mountain back there. It was like a gloomy, I was like, oh man. And then all of a sudden one day, everything started to come in. By the way, the spider and the fly just both got active at the same time. That was really, really wild. Um, but what I was saying is the winds of change came in, and all of a sudden I saw that they started to bloom. And now you can see that the leaves are coming in on the tree back there. It's a beautiful spring day. We've got blue clouds and and I feel like that's movement. Like they're trying to show you, if you've noticed that the behind there, that the clouds keep moving. The clouds will keep moving, and they will form creations, and then they will dissipate. And I just feel like it's like breathing. I feel like for some of you, it's almost like you feel like death and decay, like you're not even breathing, like you're just like stuck in this one place. So the Eight of Wands is about direction, boldness, activation, passion, and acceleration. Aiming high, the courageous astro mouse nucleus ventures across the galaxy with a take charge energy that will break down all obstacles. One-eyed aliens, Zoom and Boom, help guide him in the right direction as he forges ahead with powerful determination. Shoot for the stars. With a burst of energy, you can clear away negativity and open up channels of communication, which will set things in motion. You'll discover spontaneous possibilities for solving problems. And the reversed, which it was, is about delays, carelessness, and jealousy. Yeah, like if you're jealous or you're, how come I'm not moving as fast as that person? Or how come it's like, because you're moving at exactly the pace that you need to be moving at. Have you ever watched birds fly? They don't compare themselves to other birds. I mean, as far as I know, I'm not in their head, but you know what I mean? Like all birds fly differently. Yesterday I was watching this one type of bird species like dive and then fly and then dive and then fly. And I was like, man, you look like you're having so much fun. I'm like, must be fun to be a bird. Maybe it's time for you to channel that energy to like have fun, go on an adventure, do something different, shake it up. Maybe you did go through a breakup or a death or something happened, and Spirit's like, you know what? You're going to feel bad and you're going to hurt, and it's going to feel bad and it's going to hurt for a while. But it's okay. That doesn't mean you stop your journey. It doesn't mean you stop your progress. They had me set all these up in a certain way. Like even here, like this looks like the Wheel of Fortune in that crystal. It's just the way the light is hitting. I mean, it's just the way you look at things. It's all about perspective. Do we have any more messages? I feel like that's good. Do we have any more channeled messages for reading 2, Spirit, before we close the portal? They're like, speaking of portal, right? Like, even this looks like a portal. Yes, it's time for you to fly out of the third dimensional energy. Stop letting it bring you down. Material things too. I don't care if it's, I mean, obviously if you're an artist and you're like, I need these tools, that's fine. But, it's like, but then what don't you need? And if you don't know, use your pendulum. If you don't have a pendulum, you can buy one or make one. Research it. They're everywhere. They're so easy to make too. Literally a piece of string and a rock. You can tie it together and you just pray on it and send it good energy and ask Spirit to show you, which way is yes, which way is no, and, that kind of thing. And, but also remember how powerful you are. Stop trying to manipulate the outcome, because that's what I'm getting from Spirit. We may have dreams when we're children of who and what we want to be, but then as we evolve, our dreams evolve too. Sometimes they stay smack dab the exact same, but not always and not often. So remember that. You are channeling. You are an energy. Everything you do and say makes a huge difference on this planet. We need you, as awesome and weird and cool and quirky as you are. And it's time for you to go on in. And for some of you, this may not even be about traveling. I just heard this is the last thing. For some of you, it's just about a change and transformation journey. And it's interesting. The mouse has been coming up a lot for us lately. You know, for those of you who, you know, follow along here, you know that I was having issues with mice, and I was like, what the fuck? I never had issues with mice before. What is going on? Or it had been years. And then I was like, oh yeah, because my familiar died. Who's a cat? Right? I took for granted. I forgot how much she worked, how hard she worked, all the things she did, all the sacrifices she made that I didn't even know about. You know, looking out for me, making sure, you know, but the mouse spirit animal, whenever I see animals in here, the bat is this, looks like a bat to me. Do you want me to read anything else from the book, from the death book or anything? No. So any animals that you saw in there, feel free to work with them, especially if they caught your eye. If you're like, oh, I didn't even notice it was a mouse right away. Sometimes I'm looking at like the whole picture and I'm channeling. So you may want to work with any of the animals that you saw in these cards. All right, you guys, these are your messages. I love you so much. I hope they helped you in any way. I'm taking one last deep breath because I feel like there's one little message that wants to come out. I feel like there's a channeling from somebody. I'm hearing Drake. I have no idea what that means. I don't know if that's someone's name. I know there's the Drake Hotel in Chicago. So I've just heard the Drake. Also, I'm hearing jealousy is when you're seeking something out that isn't yours yet. Envy, jealousy. There's one thing if you're manifesting it and you're like, oh, I can't wait till, you know, that happens to me. And there's another of being like, I want that to happen to me now. They're saying it's the in-between is where you are right now. So go towards the light of love and acceptance. And also, this was the last thing they wanted me to bring up. If you notice in these readings, a lot of these energies were masculine. And I'm hearing for at least one person, it's the masculine that's holding you back from the love, from the, you know, because whatever you're holding on to has a connection or a tie to a masculine. And it could be, you know, we all have divine masculine and feminine in us, yin yang, but the yang of the masculine is aggression, it's fear, it's not wanting to change. So what is it about you, whatever you identify with, you know, but what is it in the divine masculine in your story, on your path, that you need to look at? The fly just came by too. So work with the fly energy with that. Just look up fly, spirit, animal, and whatever search engine you work with. But they're saying it's the divine masculine that's holding you back from your true self. And even if you identify with a divine masculine, it's the same message for you, right? You're not getting as in touch with your divine feminine. That's what spirit wants you to look at, is getting in touch with your divine feminine. Okay, I'm going to look one more time, but I always like looking at the bottom of the deck and look at what we have here. The Two of Swords. Looking at things with your third eye. Do you see that? I saw that right away. So look at this situation with your third eye, okay? And the Two of Swords, even though, do you see how they got their arms crossed and they're protecting themselves? They're looking out for themselves. They got little eyes everywhere looking out for them. Spirit's like, they got the same for you. We got your back. So look at this situation with your third eye, not with ego, not with, you know what I mean? I look like their name was Beyonce. That's what I saw was Beyonce. Maybe you need to listen to some Beyonce, channel some Beyonce energy, some Queen energy. But find the balance. Swords are also about communication. So maybe it's time for you to communicate from a different place through your heart and not through the very yang hard energy of not wanting to change. All right, my wayward warriors, as they say, onward and upward. I love you. I support you. Spirit supports you. It's time for you to support you. Okay. And also, speaking of support, did you see, look at the way it like clicked. I didn't do that, by the way. Did you notice like that they're standing on the support and here they're kneeling? Like they're so tired that they can't even stand. That's where I feel like you are, but this is where you're going. So keep that in mind, okay? And when you're starting to feel like this, remember that this is coming. Don't be jealous of it. You're going to get there. Look, she drained herself dry of energy trying to be something that she wasn't, because this is definitely a divine feminine. So I feel like once you get the balance of the divine feminine masculine and not letting others drain you to death of your love and your giving heart, everything will fall into place. I love you so much. If you would like to work with me one-on-one further beyond this message, if you're seeking guidance from Spirit, please reach out. We can work on that together. If you would like to donate any decks to this tribe, we have a link to my Amazon wish list. And if it's in your wheelhouse to do so, we have a Venmo available. If you would like to donate, that would be lovely. And if it's in your wheelhouse to do so, if it's not, just send a nice prayer of love my way. It's all about the exchange of energy and karma for all of us today and always. All right, I love you. I'll see you next time. Take good care of yourselves and each other. Love yourself and each other. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, reading 3. Your angel number is 1403. Welcome to your past life reading. I am going to ring some bells to clear the energy but open some awareness, so just prepare yourself, okay? Taking some deep breaths, settle into your reading. Spirit is saying if it hurts your ears, it's because that's the density in you, the third dimensional density, the old past life energy that doesn't want to hear this. Okay, so we're going to do a few more. There's nothing wrong with you. It's okay. I'm going to take a screenshot because that is really pretty. You should be able to hear this and it feels nice. This is the vibrancy, it's the frequency. And this bell, it depends on how I hit it, where I hit it, what I hit it with will give a different sound. Like that was the softer side. Now here's like kind of a more fierce one. Whew, whoa, 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 okay. It's okay. Someone's shadow tried to attack me. They don't like that. They don't like it. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is work with sound therapy. It's going to be different for everybody. So whether it's singing bowls, bells, but if the bell, this is a really old, the thing I love about this bell is it's so old. It's so ancient. I mean, it's got such an Egyptian vibe. I found it in an antique shop. It was one of those things that was like in the case. And I was like, what is that? And like, is that a bell? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, can I see that? I think I paid $8 for it. The coolest part is, I think it says made in England or something. Hold on. I don't want to burn myself on the candle. I'm trying to get in there. Owie. Doesn't matter. So, and it's heavy. Like it's hard to hold it with my 2 fingers there. I almost want to say it says made in London or something. But it feels like it was like Egyptian inspired. If it was made in London, it was like so powerful. And maybe that's why they're having me talk about this. Like, no matter where you live, maybe you have a connection to Egypt. Maybe you have a connection to England, specifically London. But yeah, you know what? They're like really forcing me to do this. All right, I'm getting my glasses because I know it says, it's stamped in there. It says something. Yes, made in England. See it? So, and it could be, we do have one of our tribe members, I know at least one of you is from England. You were born there. Your ancestors may not be from there, but you were born there. So let's get into these cards. Are there any channeled messages that want to come through before we open the book? Oh, interesting. Right when I opened it, this was on the bottom of the deck. So let's see. I'm hearing father wound, father wound, father wound. If you were drawn to reading 2, we spoke about abandonment in there, and it was very fairy energized. So if you're drawn to it, go check it out. But these have been really intense. I mean, we're just starting reading 3, and we're 1 hour and 44. Oh, and I looked down, it's 1 hour 44. Oh my gosh. And the other readings we were talking about the number 4 and 8. So in real time, you know, these are always timeless, but in real time, work with your throat chakra, speak your truth. Today is Earth Day. 422, and 22 is a 4, and it's 2025 is 9. If you add it all together, it still comes out to number 8. And what is half of 8? 4. Lessons and blessings. So I just heard your lessons and blessings are on their way. They're happening simultaneously, but somebody is like, I heard, stop looking at the clock. It's going to happen in divine timing and not a second or a moment before. Stop looking at the clock. I heard, stop looking at the clock. I also heard if you're in a job where you have to look at the clock and you feel anxious, you're in the wrong place. Leaving or travel. Oh my gosh, that's why I said if you were drawn to reading 2, we spoke about that in reading 2. So these are past life, but it didn't say like particularly that the past life was, you know, years ago, right? Past life could be in this life. Maybe you've learned the lessons and you're on to your blessings. I heard somebody go, oh, I hope that's true. Well, you know what? If you work hard for something, you don't have to keep asking Spirit, because you know you're working hard, you're doing the work, and you're in the flow. You're in the divine timing flow. But if you're not in the flow, how would you know? Right? If you're somewhere else, let's get this comfortable for everybody. If you're somewhere else, how can you be focused on what you need right now? Oh, the spider just came out again. Oh, we got another spider. We got 2 spiders. Oh my gosh. So the spider we've been working with, I have to just show you. So, hey buddy, you want to say hi? So this is the spider we've been working with. But now look at this. This little light one. Brand new. Just saw this one. Hi. Thank you, Spirit. Oh my goodness. So I feel like for some of you, when you're in light, look at that. You're working hard. You're building your nest. You're like, all is well. Life is good. You're feeling good, right? But when you're in shadow, look at, you're going downhill. You're going back to the past. And the spider's saying, don't do that. You don't need to do that. For some of you, I heard you've had the lessons and you've had the blessings, because listen, this is something Spirit wants you to hear right now. If you had a roof over your head, you had a warm place to sleep, and you had food, had or currently do, you are richer than most people on this planet. That is a sad fact. So no matter what you think, you know, Dolly Parton always says, poor is a state of mind. Poor is a state of mind. Now oh my gosh. So in reading 2, out of nowhere, this fly came in. Out of nowhere. I was like, dude, like I've been in the house. I was like, I don't even think I've opened my front door. I haven't opened any windows. And it's like a healthy fly, and it's like flying around. And I'm like, it didn't fly around last night. It didn't. So the fact that it just came in again, I just opened a window. I thought they got out. They didn't. So I could tell it's the same fly. So work with spider spirit medicine and fly spirit medicine. It's time to pack your bags and go. Let's see. Do we have any more? Okay, this one. Don't worry about the money. You're going to figure it out. I just heard, but what am I going to do about money? They said, don't worry about the money. That's a lesson they want you to learn. That's where you learn your lesson and blessing. If you're staying in a place where it's always safe, you're never going to grow. You've got to get out of your comfort zone. Like, you have just got to get out of your comfort zone. And this is going to be different for all of you because this is a mass reading. But I'm telling you from my own experience, like, I am the best version of myself because of who I've become in my travels. I feel like this wants to be open, so I'm going to open it. Okay, thank you, Fly. I feel like he's like, can I go now? Yep, go, 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 go. Look, it's open. See, I'm going to leave the window open. There he goes. Go. Oh, this is a metaphor for you. Listen to that car going by. No, but I feel like Spirit's like, the door is open. The window is open. The only one holding you back is you. Stop making excuses. It's not about the money. The money will come. Those who don't believe in the magic will never find it. You talk a big game of what you believe. But if you really believed and you trusted in Spirit, you would go. This is a planet of free will. They cannot take your free will away. That is yours and yours alone. Let me see if I even need this right now. Oh, okay. Because they said you could take the flash off. And I was like, really? And now I just lost my sunlight. Wow. So I see what's happening here. So you're in shadow and you're feeling alone. I just heard you feel really lonely. I've been there, my friend. You're not, though. You're not alone. Spirit has your back. I got your back. Hold on. I'm going to make sure that this is... Oh, that's why it's so unstable right now. This is because you need stability. And you think the only way of getting stability is having a stable job, having a stable rent, stable income, stable blah, blah, blah. Well, I think it's time for you to let that false narrative go. It's part of the 3D thinking, my friends, my beautiful friends. Oh, when I look down, it was 151, 55. Fives are all about change and transformations. Ones are about new beginnings. And I believe that comes out to the number 17, which is also the number 8. Spider has 8 legs. The spider lives day by day. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know they don't know. Today's Earth Day. I brought in that beautiful pine branch. It smells so good. It's one of the few pines that has like that aromatic. I always forget which one it is. I'm gonna make this stable for you, just because I want you to be able to